I've been really putting in substantial effort and work into overcoming temptation and dealing with temptation. Now, in my experience, I found that regardless of the vice or temptation, it's been like the vice or whatever the temptation may be. It doesn't matter if it's, we'll say, the phone, nicotine, women, whatever. It's kind of dealing with it the same way. Now, at first, when I started on this journey, for the lack of a better term, I would focus on like one thing at a time. So, okay, like, first let me try to cut down on my phone usage. And that works somewhat. But what I found myself doing, which is bouncing from thing to thing to thing, if I was trying to avoid one thing, I would end up doing another thing more. The approach that has given me more success has been from realizing that my thoughts, my desires, my emotions, and these urges is a better way to put it. These urges, they aren't necessarily me. It is like my brain that has these urges, but I can still choose to listen to it. And what has helped make that distinguish, or what has helped me in being able to distinguish, myself, me, from my thoughts and what goes on in the brain here, is honestly kind of just talking to myself more. If I have an urge, let's just say to, do a little zen, right? Get a little nicotine. I can just tell myself, oh, like that's that's what we're not gonna do. And when I tell myself that, I have to, one, just be aware of what it is my mind is doing, what my brain is doing, this urge that, is being created. I have to be aware of it. Second, which I think was probably the biggest, not the biggest, but one major factor that has helped me, is I have to be aware of that urge and not judge it. Oh man, I used to beat myself up for simply having urges. Like, I thought there was this thing wrong with me, and uh, yeah, like it was just negative self-talk going on, and that made it even harder to resist the urge. These things were not necessarily. It's not the vice itself. It's not whatever. It's not the phone. It's not having the phone that gives you, that relieves that urge. It's the feeling that that thing gives you. It's the feeling that that phone gives you that relieves that urge. And so with being able to realize I'm looking for a feeling, not necessarily this, I'm looking for a feeling, but this thing is the method I'm looking to get it. And yes, I have this urge, and it is okay that it is there. It is not necessarily good or bad. What's more important is what I do in response to that. And so keeping those two things in mind, I'm looking for the feeling, not necessarily, whatever the vice whatever the vice may be. And secondly, when that urge is there, like, it is okay for it to be there. And by being able to keep those things in mind, it's not 100% of the time perfect, but those urges have been able to come. They still come, but they go a lot quicker, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, okay, urge comes, and it's before or earlier on into this journey, I would be aware that the urge is there, but it's like, man, like, it's, you just woke up and you're already looking to, to indulge, to consume these things. And, what's wrong with you? You just woke up, blah, blah, blah. And that just honestly put me in a worse and more negative mental state, to now that relief that whatever I was looking for would give me, like, it just seemed like that much greater, and that urge became that much stronger. Now being okay with it being there, it's like when it comes, instead of that negative self-talk, like, I don't bring myself down. So now it's like the gap between what I'm looking to feel and how I already feel, it isn't so big of a distance anymore. And since it's not as much of a distance, it's like the wider the gap is, it's like the stronger the urge is. And then what I mean by gap is the gap of how you feel currently to how you're expecting to feel after consuming something. So now with that gap shortened, I've just found it so much easier to say no, and to say no to myself, and not even in the sense of like, no, you can't have that. It's more or less like, okay, like, I know what you want, and I know how we're used to doing things, and I know what would make us feel the best, the quickest. But like, we'll try something else. Let's do something else. And man, when any urge, the urges you get from being bored, the urges that you get from, like sexual urges, we all get them, I think. And yeah, just when those urges are there now, it is a lot easier. And the last thing, because I'm not perfect, I have failed, and hopefully there isn't, but there may potentially be relapses in the future. Let's just say early in the morning, I made it a goal to not eat any junk food for the day. And let's just say I do. Again, I used to then beat myself up. Oh, you're like, I can't believe you couldn't do it. Whatever, insert the negative self-talk. And instead what I do, I'm still aware, that I did something that I did not want to do. And I guess you could say I failed on my goal for the day, but I don't beat myself up for it. And I really try to control the way that I talk to myself in response as well. Because I already know what I did, and I shouldn't have to treat myself like a child, be an adult about it, recognize what you did, and move on from it. And just reducing that negative self-talk has allowed me to see, it's allowed me to look at my life and the things that I'm working on with like a much, much clearer head. And with that clear head, I'm able to see, it's like I'm able to dig deeper into myself. And now, as before, it was like, okay, I saw this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. I've been able to see how, like, oh no, that's a symptom, that's a symptom, that's a symptom, that's a symptom. So, like, there must be something deeper. And as a result of doing so, I can see the commonality. And now, these things that I'm working on and trying to improve, they don't seem so overwhelming. And in my head, instead of it appearing like, okay, this I need to work on, this is problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, problem 4, problem 5, and they each look like they're going to take a good amount of time to work on, it's like, okay, let's look at this with a level head. Let's, be open-minded, and let's observe and be aware. And it's like, then the deeper I can go and see how, okay, that was just more symptom. These are all symptoms. Here's the actual, main problem. Here's the leak. Can't necessarily say I've completely found it yet, but I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to the source. And the closer I get, the more I've seen my life improve. So again, the best thing that has helped me in overcoming my temptations and the things I am not looking to do to partake in is, 1, separating myself, my sense of self, from the urges and overall emotions surrounding these things. And secondly, has been from finding ways to partake to achieve the emotion or the desired state I'm looking to achieve through these things, finding them in a healthier, less destructive way. If I'm bored, instead of hopping on my phone, take a walk. If I'm freaking horny and it's not the time and place, drop and do 20 push-ups. And lastly, it has been from, now that it's the more awareness I've been able to build, the clearer it has allowed me to look at my life, and hopefully getting closer and closer to the source of these symptoms. And in pursuit of doing so, I have found more success.